Don't say I didn't warn y'all. I just spent the last 24 hours discovering videos that TikTok did not want you to see. And you may be wondering why TikTok did not want you to see these videos, because this side gets dark. It holds secrets that you never knew existed and they've been trying to keep from you your entire life. But thankfully you guys got me. I will always jump into the darkest parts of TikTok. I don't care how dark it gets. So just be ready. And I don't think most of you are going to be able to make it to the end of this video, but if you think you can, let me know in the comments. What's even scarier than the TikToks we're about to watch today is the fact that 60% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe for more scary videos. Thank you.
All the distractions that are going to come to try to take our eye off of satanic ritualistic that Epstein did. We see former President Barack Obama go on some random podcast and say, oh yeah, aliens are real.
Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them. They're not being kept in, what is it?
Area 51?
Area 51.
You think this is a coincidence that all of a sudden the former president goes on a random podcast and says that aliens are real right in the middle of the biggest, most elite in the entire world unfolded? And then you fast forward about a week, President Trump comes out and says,
well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that.
One of the tactics that the demons always use is they rarely do a frontal assault on a particular individual. What they'll do is they want you to not pay attention to what's really going on, because that's where their vulnerability is. So you've got this situation where the Epstein stuff starts to kind of come to the surface, and then all of a sudden there's this diversionary tactic.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Obama, we really don't care what you gotta say, bro. You and Michael can, just, y'all had your time, bro. It's over. It's over, bro. Y'all can just go, I don't know, bro. Do whatever men love to do.
Bro, I can't believe I'm saying this, but you may actually be able to live forever. I'm not even joking right now. I swear on my grandma. If you're like most people, you've probably thought about future civilizations, the possibility of not mortality, all of that nonsense. Now, of course, this isn't real. Well, maybe it is. At the moment, time catches up with all of us. At the end of the day, we all one day or another. So I've seen a lot of people talking about this recently, and it's actually blowing my mind, and it will you as well. Make sure you share this video. Reportedly, if you can survive until 2050, you will be able to live forever. Like, that's a fact. As apparently by that year, they will actually have a cure for death. Wow, okay. We haven't even got a cure for some of the worst illnesses. How are you gonna cure death? Believe it or not, there is actually a research development company that is literally making this right now. It is these little things called nanobots, which actually will go into your body and into your bloodstream. Every day, these little, robots will be inside your body checking up on everything that's going on. And of course, if they find something wrong, it will be at a very early stage, so you can go to the doctors, but that's only phase 1, because in the future, they could even cure it themselves. In the future, this would completely annihilate GPs, doctors, everything, and make AI and robotics completely take over. Now though, if you look up the current world population, how the hell is this gonna work? The current population on Earth is over 8.2 billion people. And already, today alone, over 175,000 people have been born, and over 84,000 people have died. So imagine a world with that many births, but no one. The Earth would literally not be able to cope. However, the research they're developing in these little nanobots are not a dystopian future away, and it does genuinely sound realistic. This could actually happen. So let me know your thoughts and I will keep you updated.
Did you know that Michael Jackson had vitiligo, but we never really saw photos showing its progression? Until yesterday, when a new photo finally allowed us to understand everything. We've all seen him like this back in the Thriller era, or like this later on, but when I saw the new picture, the one from the intermediate phase, I genuinely found it insane, and you need to see it. Everyone has felt bad for this man at some point, because we all believed he was bleaching his skin on purpose to fit better into society, except he had already talked about it in an interview with Oprah Winfrey years earlier. No one listened. He said, "No, I'm not bleaching my skin. It's a condition I have."
I have a skin disorder that destroys the pigmentation of the skin. Is something that I cannot help. When people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me.
He then explained that it came from his father's side.
It's in my family. My father said it's on his side. I can't control it. I don't understand. I mean, it makes me very sad.
The thing is, he said it all started after filming the Thriller music video. Today, many artists are affected by this extremely rare condition, but back then, it wasn't something the mainstream media understood. And so Michael's case worried a lot of people. With this photo, you can clearly see it starting to take over his face, and on this one, taken just after, you can really see how far the vitiligo had progressed. Why didn't these photos come out earlier, when he was still with us? It's heartbreaking that he had to spend his life defending himself and his own skin. The truth is, Michael Jackson really deserved better. He deserved so much better in every aspect of his life and everything he accomplished.
I've seen some D1 scholarship level hating in my entire life, but nothing like Michael Jackson, bro. Everybody just comes at Michael Jackson, bro. Bro's been gone for years now, and people still find a way to talk about him. Leave the man alone for once. You know, give him like, we should just have like Michael Jackson month where we just don't talk about him for a little bit. Give him some time to chill, you know?
Oh no, hold up, fool. Did y'all hear what the co-founder of YouTube said? He said this year, 2026, is the last year that humans do any meaningful work. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. That's some crazy that he just said. That's a crazy sentence he put together. Because what the mean 2026 is the last meaningful year for us to do work? Is he trying to say AI is finna take over? Is this man trying to say that most jobs is gonna be automated so fast that humans will no longer be needed? Is that what he trying to say? That's the part that got everybody thinking like, this crazy, fool. The real question isn't, are we cooked? The real question is, who's finna adapt? Because the AI is here to stay, fool. I told y'all, I really highly believe that AI is gonna bring in the end. What can possibly go wrong when you make something that's 10 times, even 20 times smarter than a human? Y'all ever ask yourself that?
Did you know it's possible to from a single sip from a moldy coconut? And it's actually happened before. One college student took a sip from a moldy coconut in 17 hours. And the most notable is a 69-year-old dude in Denmark that took a single sip from a moldy coconut that was sitting on his counter for a month. But within 3 hours of taking the sip, he was on the ground, curled up, having muscle spasms and high fever. His girlfriend found him about an hour later on the kitchen floor and rushed him to the hospital. They did an MRI and his brain was swelling. By the next day, he was brain. The coconut that he got was from the grocery store and it was pre-shaved. He left it on the counter for like a month. And then when he finally put the straw in to take a sip, he instantly knew that it was bad. He cracked it open and saw that it was moldy, but he didn't think much of it. But he was within 26 hours. Now, before everyone jumps on me and says that this isn't the right coconut that you drink, this is actually one that someone posted on Reddit saying that they did drink from this one and then opened it and found out it was moldy. So obviously you're supposed to drink the young green ones, but people drink all the different ones. Now, you don't need to worry. Like, if you get these fresh, you're going to be fine. And if you don't leave them on your counter for a month, you will most likely be okay. This was a very rare incident.
I mean, some people really just don't have common sense or like, you know, awareness, because bro, if you leave a coconut on your counter for a month, bro, I'm pretty sure you should probably cut it open first just to make sure, you know, like if it's like a day or two, like even a week is pushing it to me. Risking illness is not in my book, so I don't know how these people do it.
Did you hear about the waterfall that was just discovered in the jungles of Tennessee and no one's ever known that it's there? But what's crazy about it is what's at the bottom of it, because it rewrites the entire history of America, the United States of America. At the bottom is a cavern chamber that they said is full of Egyptian artifacts. In fact, on the wall of it, they said that there's petroglyphicers that tells the history of the world. And it's not quite in the Egyptian writing. They say it's more like a reformed Egyptian. But it says that man was placed on earth by our sky cousins, and that the United States is a land that's super important, is what it says. So I'm going to go down there tomorrow with Dr. Remy Demi. I'm super excited, a little nervous, and take pictures and see what other artifactage is. They said there's a chest that's locked, and it says there's a curse on it that says do not open. And so we'll likely open it to see what's inside, but I'll keep.
Ariana Grande might have accidentally revealed the secrets about celebrities dyeing their hair blonde.
Wait, what?
So usually when people start blowing up or before they really, really pop off, they dye their hair blonde, right?
Yeah.
Ariana Grande, she was actually on the red carpet and she kind of made a joke. She's like,
you know what? They did the Brighter Days memory erasure treatment to me, so I'm having trouble remembering the details.
What she's referencing, it's her music video. So in her music video, it's the Brighter Days memory erasure. Now that's a callback to the Jim Carrey movie.
Theory is the blonde hair isn't them dyeing their hair blonde. It's a result of going through the procedure. When you dunk your head into the liquid and putting your brain into the vat, it changes the color of your hair. So when they go through the memory erasure or they go through the brainwashing, their hair is blonde because they're using their head to go into the system and going through the procedure, dyeing their hair blonde.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to tell you why you can't trust anything anymore. Every product is a scam.
Every service is a ripoff. Every review is fake. Every influencer is paid. You can't believe anything you see because the entire economy runs on deception now. There was a time when businesses succeeded by delivering quality because reputation mattered and word of mouth made or broke you. Then the internet broke that model. Now companies can lie, take your money, deliver garbage, and just disappear or rebrand before the consequences catch up. Dropshipping scams, fake gurus, subscription traps, bait and switch pricing. It's everywhere. And the platforms enabling it don't care because they get their cut either way. Amazon is flooded with fake reviews. Google results are all ads. TikTok is full of paid promotions disguised as recommendations. You're navigating a minefield of fraud every single day. And here's the part that makes it hopeless. The system is designed this way. Regulation can't keep up. Enforcement is a joke. And the profit motive makes honesty a competitive disadvantage. And anybody who understands incentives knows if crime pays better than honesty, crime becomes the norm. You're not paranoid for not trusting anything, you're just paying attention. We may not see each other again, so make sure to follow this page.
What are some of the common complications you could get? So there is the potential, there are people that have from the surgery. That's just from, and one person I know in particular, blood clot actually made its way to their heart. You run the potential of non-union, so your bones never go back into place or go back together. There's absolutely a potential, like I said, that you lose your leg. I won't say high, but it's very possible.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Risking your life to get some hoes is crazy because, why would you ever, bro, if you're short, just be short, bro. There's no reason you're I could possibly lose my life. Hey, but I'll get more hoes. Lock in, bro.
Oh, y'all don't know what happened to Salento? Wait, y'all remember Salento, right? The dude who's saying, watch me whip. Now watch me nay. Yeah, he going to jail for 30 years for his cousin. Now you see, Salento had a problem. Here go his mugshot right here. Actually, this might be the mugshot from the time when he ran into those people's house with a we're gonna get to that part too. But Silento had a problem. And it all started when he got famous. You see, at one point, Silento was on top of the world. Y'all remember the song Whip and Nene? It was everywhere. And y'all know what happens after you make a hit. You better make another one and fast. Because when people get tired of you, people get mean. But you know who else gets mean? Your record label. Silento was signed to Capitol Records. They said, Silento, where that next hit at, baby? He said, oh man, it's coming, man. Y'all want, they said, okay, actually, we don't care. You see, a lot of times record labels will sign an artist who made one hit so they can make money off that hit forever. They don't care about what happens to you afterwards. So they said, Silento, look, unless you come to us with another hit, you're not releasing another song. So Silento in the lab over and over again trying to make a hit. Now, there's something else I should mention. Silento came out at this time saying he has mental health issues. Now, at this point, I'm going to speculate his mental health issues combined with the pressures of making another hit, combined with trying to get out of his label because they wouldn't let him release a song, all really got to him because this is when the story starts to take a turn. And actually, side note, it got a little worse for him because he did get out of his label. He released his album and it didn't do well. So people were clowning him. So at this point, he allegedly stopped showing up for shows, even though he got paid to go to them. He then gets a charge towards his girlfriend. The cops come in and arrest him. The next day, listen closely, he leaves and he goes looking for his girlfriend. He walks into a house with a and he said, where's she at? Now, this is the point where you should probably see the mental health issues, or respectfully, he just stupid. Because he walked into the crib and there's a family sitting there, wife, kids, all that. Honey, can you pass the salt? He said, hey, where my girlfriend at? They said, do we look like we know who your girlfriend is? He brings out the and starts swinging. He said, tell me where she at. Two other dudes who was living in the house rush him. They bring the out, but they don't fire. They just wrestle him and they call the police. The police pull up, they say, and we just seen you yesterday. He said, yup. They lock him up. He gets released on bail. A month later, they catch bro driving 143 miles an hour. They said 140. Silento said, officer, before you finish your sentence, you would be driving 143 miles an hour if you was getting chased by people all the time, everywhere. They said, why are you getting chased by people? He said, look at me. Do you know who I am? They said, put your hands behind your back. They arrest him. He started losing it on the body cam. He said, man, is it because I'm black? They said, not this time. And well, here's where things start to get wicked. Because when he gets released for this charge, about 3 months later, his cousin was found in the street. On video surveillance, they see his car, his white BMW, driving away. His family member said, yup, that's Silento's car. They go over, arrest Silento. He tries to get out on bail. His grandparents said, deny that bail. They said, Silento, we found your cousin. He said, I did it. It was me. He just confessed. Now, since he confessed, there was no trial, so we didn't get exact details as to why he did it, but he was sentenced to 30 years. Technically, it's a reduced sentence since he was charged with mental health issues, but it is 30 years regardless. And well, his spirits still seem to be high because from jail, he said more new music on the way.
You think that's an accident? There is no accidents and there are no coincidences, especially when it comes to Disney. Should we just call this one an accident too, the 666? About the fact that the S perfectly resembles a snake. And we all know what the archway represents, right? What about how Mickey Mouse's ears make a perfect 3? What about how his face makes the other 3? And what about how MM on its side makes a 33? What about how the Freemasons would wear white gloves in red attire? So we've established that Mickey is just a 33 hidden in plain sight. So the kids show Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is actually just the 33 Club. What about the song that they sing to your kids? Hot dog. Hot dog, our problem solved? What the hell are they singing to our kids? Oh, and if you didn't know this about Club 33, from the time that Walt Disney was born until the time that they started the 33 Club, 66 years and 6 months had passed.
Now that you know reptilians walk among us, here are 3 ways to spot one. If someone watching this suddenly gets nervous, well, now we know. Sign number 1. The temperature literally changes when they enter the room. You ever notice someone walk in and suddenly the energy gets cooler? Not emotionally, like the actual room gets cold. Yup, that's a thing people report. Sign number 2. They give off a sense of danger without saying a single word. And you're sitting there and you don't know why. They're not doing anything threatening. Your instincts go, okay, this person could probably run a battlefield. And the 3rd sign. They eat a lot of meat, like a lot. I'm talking 4th of July meals every day, every meal. Everyone else orders a salad, but they're over there ordering 2 steaks. And they ask, what animal did that burger come from? So if someone lowers the temperature, radiates a quiet danger, and destroys a steak in under 4 minutes, you might just have spotted a reptilian. Don't worry though, most of them are afraid to be seen. So have you seen a reptilian walking among us?
What the f happened at the last Fashion Week? Here are the 4 strangest moments you couldn't miss. What happened was absolutely demonic. No one had ever seen anything like it. First, we had this woman who appeared on the runway, and she terrified everyone who saw her. His name is Alexis Stone, and normally he looks more like this. I don't understand what the point is of transforming yourself like that, especially at an event like this. It really isn't beautiful. Maybe it's simply today's fashion. Maybe I'm the one who's disconnected from modern trends, but it honestly looks frightening. Then we had this appearance. No one knows who is hiding behind this horrible disguise. I don't know who came up with that idea, but it's really vulgar. But the worst happened right after that. In the same show as the woman before, we saw this pair of shoes being presented, and it was extremely disturbing. You can see they tried to make shoes with a material that looks exactly like skin. Who could possibly find that elegant? Someone needs to explain that to me. Then there was this final show, which was the worst of them all. It was literally like a demonic ritual that everyone there could witness. It started when the most famous couple in fashion arrived, Michelle Lamy and Rick Owens, known for being the darkest and most mysterious couple of Fashion Week. Their show literally looked like this. Look at how their positioning almost resembles a demonic ritual. That cannot be a coincidence. And especially look at Rick Owens' expression when he watches his wife Michelle Lamy walk in front of him. That look clearly shows they know exactly what they're doing. You have to admit, it looks really strange, even disturbing. Honestly, in my opinion, this Fashion Week was demonic.
Apple just dropped 7 brand new products in just 3 days, and one of them is officially the cheapest Mac that they have ever made. So basically, Apple just had their biggest launch week of the entire year, and it was non-stop. On day 1, they officially announced the iPhone 17e. It has the A19 chip, MagSafe, double the storage to 256 gigs, and it's $599. On day 2, they released the iPad Air with the M4 chip, Wi-Fi 7, and enough RAM to finally be able to run Apple Intelligence. They also just released the brand new MacBook Air with the M5 chip, and then the MacBook Pro with the M5 Pro and the M5 Max. There's a brand new Studio display with Thunderbolt 5 and a better webcam, and then a Studio studio display XDR with mini LED 120Hz, and it's $3,299. Now here's the one that literally just broke the internet, the MacBook Neo at $599. It comes in 4 brand new colors that everybody's freaking out about, and it's also the first ever Mac to ever run on an iPhone chip. Apple literally just put a phone processor inside of a laptop and said, good luck Chromebooks. Steve Jobs 18 years ago actually said that they don't know how to make a $500 computer that isn't junk, but 18 years later they just figured it out.
Have you ever wondered what the worst way anyone has ever died in history? Well, that title might just go to Georgi Doza, who had probably the worst in history. Georgi Doza was a minor nobleman from Hungary, and in 1514 AD he led a peasant revolt against the nobility of Hungary. The revolt was stopped by the nobility, and his execution and the execution of his closest friends was truly horrific, something out of the nobles put on a fake coronation, a spectacle to humiliate Georgi Doza and his supporters. They stripped him naked and they placed him on an iron throne that had been heated red hot. So as soon as he sat on the iron throne, his skin, his flesh started basically him. They then heated an iron crown and placed it on his head, burning, cooking his head. They then used hot iron pokers to tear away pieces of his. Before this, though, they had brought his younger brother out and had put him in front of Georgi, so he had to see his own brother in front of him. Then the worst part happened. Yes, that's not the worst. They brought out his closest supporters and gave them an ultimatum. They could either start their commander while he was on the throne, or they get. If they started eating him, they would be set free. A few of his supporters refused to eat their own commander, and they were on the spot. But some others, fearing death, started tearing away and eating their own friend, their own leader, while he was on the Iron Throne. Not a good day. So being alive on an Iron Throne while being eaten by your own friends, is that the worst way to die?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Your time is over, bro. If you decide to go munch on your homie, you deserve whatever comes to you after that anyway, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that is a terrible, like, I would rather go out in honor than do that, bro. I don't know, bro. What is wrong with y'all?
Katy Perry has just given us horrifying clues about the Epstein case, because we discovered that her most viewed music video was filmed in a completely forbidden place. When you look at the most famous song in her entire discography, you'll realize that her involvement no longer seems like a doubt. In her video for Bon Appetit, a clue escaped all of us. First of all, the video isn't really about pastry, it's about human meat, where the clear goal is to eat human flesh. You see Katy Perry represented like dough being kneaded, then vegetables are added and she's cooked. It's honestly abominable. But what really matters is right here, where you can clearly see the kitchen floor. Memorize the pattern and the colors, because it's important, because it's the exact same floor as the one in Jeffrey Epstein's main house. Could this be another coincidence? I don't think so. The worst part is that a few months before releasing the Bon Appetit video, this interview of Katy Perry resurfaced, and here is what she admitted in it.
Kind of sang about, what was going on in my life at 15, and that's how I got introduced to the music industry. I swear I wanted to be like the Amy Grant of music, but it didn't work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil. Sold my soul to the devil.
It was basically a confession, and yes, you've probably understood by now, celebrities were all mixed up in the Epstein case. I don't know what you think, but to me she must have done some pretty dark things. None of this is really surprising when you know that her own father once claimed she was the daughter of the devil.
This was the real story behind Jimmy Neutron. In 1997, in a quiet town in Texas, an 11-year-old boy named James Newton serious accident while riding his bike down a steep neighborhood hill and struck his hard enough to fall into a. Doctors said the damage to his was severe. For 3 weeks, he did not move. Then one morning, he woke up At first, everything seemed normal. James spoke slowly. He asked for water. He recognized his parents. But within days, something strange began to happen. James started asking unusual questions, not about school or his friends, about electricity, about gravity, about how satellites stay in orbit. His parents thought he had read too many science books. Soon he began building things, small machines made from scrap electronics, motors taken from broken toys, circuits he somehow understood without instructions. At school, teachers noticed he could solve complex equations that older students struggled with. Doctors scanned his brain again. They found something unusual. The injury had not simply healed. It had changed the way his brain processed information. Within a year, James had built devices no child should understand. That's when people outside the town began paying attention. Government officials arrived quietly. They spoke with his parents behind closed doors. A week later, a black vehicle arrived at the house. James left with them that night. The family never explained where he went, and according to school records, James Newton never returned.
Geologists just found what might be the largest gold deposit ever found on our entire planet, and it's worth $83 billion. It's been underneath us this entire time. So a team of geologists in central China just confirmed that they've been sitting on top of a monster. That's literally what they're calling it. It's called the Wanggu Gold Field, with over 40 gold veins that are buried more than 6,000 feet underground. And why should you care about this, you might ask? The initial estimate of this entire mine was about 330 tons of gold, but then they ran 3D modeling on the site and the number jumped to 1,100 tons. At current prices of gold right now, that's $83 billion worth of gold just locked into a rock. Okay. And this is what makes this entire thing even crazier, because most gold mines actually operate at around 8 grams of gold per ton of ore, which is literally just a paperclip's worth of gold inside of a small car's worth of rock. This brand new deposit that they have just discovered is actually hitting 138 grams per ton, which is over 17 times the standard. If the numbers are able to hold themselves together, it would beat the South Africa's South Deep Mine, which has held the record for the largest gold deposit on the planet up until now. And I get excited when I find $1 in my jacket pocket.
Okay, so why am I just finding out that people are living in the Grand Canyon? And I'm not talking about on the outskirts, but deep within, as in you need to take an 8-mile hike to get in or out, unless you're taking a mule or going via helicopter. This is in Supai, Arizona. It's called the Supai Village in the Havasu Canyons in the Grand Canyon. And this place is completely rural. They have a population of about 200 people, and it falls outside of the Grand Canyon National Park jurisdiction. It is by the Havasupai tribe, who have been there for over 1,000 years, and they administer the land completely on their own. They have their own culture, their own tradition, their own laws, and hikers and tourists need a full reservation in order to go there. I can't imagine what it's like to live there, because there's limited to no Wi-Fi or cell service, and they get their mail, they get their packages only via a mule. This is insane. I didn't even know this existed. I didn't even know this was allowed, based on the fact that the most of the Grand Canyon is completely blocked off to the public. But they've been there for over 1,000 years, so they actually have rain on this particular part of the land. Tourists who have been there, though, said that now it's become a bit of a run-down area. It's almost like living in a third world place. Some people have witnessed DV or things that seem a bit eerie, but I can't confirm or deny any of this. It's all alleged in regards to how they live. However, I do know that Supai Village does indeed exist. If you heard about it, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you move there, especially with the state of the world right now? If you don't know what I'm talking about, save this video, go look into it, come back, let me know what you think. If I find out any more interesting details, I'll be back. Per usual, this is all alleged. Like, follow, stay for some more.
Less than 24 hours after T.I.'s son, King Harris, allegedly disrespected the gravesite of 50 Cent's mother, 50 Cent responded with 3 chilling actions that forced King Harris to face serious consequences. First, 50 Cent delivered a direct warning to T.I., demanding that King Harris be taken to his mother's gravesite within 24 hours to kneel down and apologize publicly. He made it very clear that if they refused or failed to meet that deadline, T.I. should be ready to receive King Harris's body. His message was firm, direct, and left absolutely no room for negotiation or delay. Second, using his strong influence in the entertainment industry, 50 Cent reportedly pushed certain platforms to remove King Harris's content and block his public exposure, effectively shutting down his opportunities for growth and visibility. This decision quickly led to King Harris losing several deals and music opportunities that had already been lined up and discussed behind the scenes. Finally, 50 Cent's legal team moved quickly, officially filing a complaint against both T.I. and King Harris, accusing them of disrespecting the deceased and causing severe emotional distress, while demanding up to $5 million in compensation for the emotional damages and the public harm caused by the incident.
Do you have a girlfriend? No. No? Nope. Why not?
You know what the crocodile does when a victim...
Are you changing the subject?
The natural prey?
Yeah, I know. You told me all that, but what about the girlfriend?
No, I don't have a girlfriend. No, I'll never get a girlfriend.
Why? Give me a key.
Sophia, a grown woman, leaning into a space, interrogating him about girlfriends and pressurising him for a kiss. Some say it's just a joke. Just ask yourself, if the roles were reversed, would you be saying the same thing then? Then look at the pizza. In this clip, it's treated like a ritual offering.
Before you go, you keep talking about pizza and you say there's no good pizza here in LA.
A prop is brought out by a stranger
My friend Edgar, I think you're going to like his pizza.
to trigger a reaction for the cameras. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below.
See, back in the day, I can understand why this seems like such a harmless little joke. But looking at how these celebrities be moving, this is the last person you want around someone like this. You know, like, nah, that's just bad, bro. Like, these people are literally demons.
Here's how every CEO of a fast food restaurant has reacted to trying their own burgers. Starting off with the first and most infamous one, we've got the McDonald's CEO trying their newest burger. He took the smallest bite of all time and immediately looked disgusted. Next, we've got the Burger King CEO. He took a nice bite out of a Burger King burger and had a very genuine reaction. He said that the only thing missing was a napkin. Next up, we got the president of Wendy's. I feel like it is worth noting he's the only one that actually made his own burger, and he also pointed fun at McDonald's a couple times by saying how their ice cream machine is actually working, unlike, you know, McDonald's. And then he took a bite out of one of their Wendy's burgers, had a nice and genuine reaction. And then finally, we've got Alan, the A&W guy. He was probably the most excited out of them all to try the A&W burger. And immediately when he took a bite, he was just so satisfied. And you could just once again tell he had a very genuine reaction. So out of them all, there was only one of them that did not have a very genuine reaction and honestly had quite a unsettling reaction. And that was the McDonald's CEO. So do with that information what you will. And I'm curious to know your thoughts about all this.
He's a fisherman. He said after a certain time, being on the shore of the beach is dangerous because that's when they arrive and they take people with them. Point blank, period. And you know, everybody's compound on the coast got electric charged wire on top of the fences, barbed wire, and they all got these signs, danger. And everybody got their security. They say after a certain time it get dangerous. Be inside the gate. Don't go to the water because, you know, none of us can swim good enough to get you back from them. I spoke to a guy. He said he went for a night swim, and when he got back to shore, he was standing there with his towel, and he looked and he seen a merman standing there. The hair was not like you see in the movies. He said he had these large black eyes, and he said he got this compelling feeling to go into the water. And he said he glad he fought the thought because he said he felt like if he did, nobody ever see him again. And when I went to Puerto Rico, the locals said the exact same thing. Exact same thing.
There's videos now in Mexico of people that are given the same description.
For sure.
Recently, that just happened a few weeks ago, that they seen one that walked onto the shoreline.
That's the thing.
It's got legs.
Apparently, the males don't have the fish appendage at the end. They got legs, but they have webbed hands and webbed feet.
Okay.
So this is the description everybody's getting.
The recent passing of Aiden Ross's sister is very questionable, and not enough people are looking into what's actually going on. So if you don't know, Aiden Ross's sister actually passed away in January, and he got on stream immediately after, just kind of like saying he feels guilty about it, but didn't shed a single tear, and this was literally immediately after, which was really weird. In fact, it genuinely looked like he was forcing fake crying, but that is nothing compared to the fact that these news outlets are just randomly starting to post it out of nowhere. So even though this happened in the middle of January, it's It's March now, and TMZ just posted it 3 days ago, just now acknowledging it, and along with No Jumper as well, they actually had a post and delete about this too. We don't know why this is, but in the comments, a lot of people, and I'm literally talking like pretty much every comment, is saying that he sacrificed her, and all the emotions he's showing in this video are fake. So I'll roll it for you guys right now so you can see for yourselves. But God, can I not stress enough, rest in peace to her. I'm not trying to disrespect the situation at all. I am just acknowledging that some people are asking the right questions here, and it's just so weird how faked his reaction looks. Here it is, guys. Let us know what you think.
Like, I literally said, appreciate your loved ones. I feel bad because I feel like I manifested it. I feel like God's trying to teach me a lesson or some shit to be careful with what I say. And I'm blaming myself because it's like, how could I not? And it just fucking sucks, bro. It really fucking sucks. Losing somebody you love. It's the worst. It's the worst thing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, he's giving a vibe like he has something to do with this, bro, because he's sitting here taking accountability. Why are you taking accountability? If it's not your fault, like, why are you taking accountability? And bro's not even crying. He just seems very, like, not authentic, bro. So
we got two suns in the sky over Arizona, Fushkis.
Dairy Queen is getting sued because their ice cream isn't actually ice cream. Let me explain. Recently, the FDA ruled that Dairy Queen couldn't even call their ice cream because of how little ice cream it was actually made of. In order for something to classify as ice cream, it must have at least 10% butterfat. And Dairy Queen didn't even come close. So what actually is it? They did a study and found that 2/3 of the ice cream from DQ is made of air. No wonder they can have such terrible service and make crazy profit margins. So all of this air combined with some emulsifiers, making their blizzards, aka non-ice cream, flip.
Something bizarre just happened at Paris Fashion Week. Take a look at this. Each piece is meant to represent a message about the world's most powerful people. But when you take a closer look at the symbolism of this show, a pattern starts to emerge. It points to something the Bible warned us about thousands of years ago. What we're seeing here is human modification. People modifying themselves beyond original human design. This is representing transhumanism, especially with these blue eyes, that people ascending above or even like merging with AI or artificial intelligence. This is where the symbolism gets a lot more interesting, because later in the show, the designers introduce a boot that appears to morph into her flesh. So if you look close on this boot like is merging with her ankle. Yeah, there you go. The designers basically said that this is supposed to represent the tools of life that these elites have access to, that we as, I guess, peasants don't have access to, right? This is the original lie from the garden, where Satan offers, you'll be like God, knowing good and evil.
I'm on Epstein's Island right now. Clout chasing gone wrong. You're watching this? Made it out alive, and the YouTube video's out right now. Man, you playing, bro. Then they probably got my ass. I'm really up here, huh? I'm about to react to this shit on YouTube. Security's coming for me, but they are not catching me. I'm watching them. They're coming up right now, actually. But, holy shit. We did it. The world is yours. Now the security card's coming.
Yeah, the world is yours. Now you're on a federal watch list. Now you're on a watch list, bro. I know they got me on a watch list, content creator or something, but I'm not, bro. I know I'm being watched. When a lot of y'all think like content creators, like we're separated from what's going on, bro. Like we can't get, like they don't want to, like they won't get rid of us too. Like I'm not, look, this is all for entertainment purposes only. Obviously, I don't even know what I'm talking about. But the kid went to Epstein Island playing around, right? Do you actually know what's going on? Like, did you read them files, bro? That shit's out of your budget, bro. Not to be pushing up playing around. You feel me? I might make my videos walking in front of the Freemason building, but I'm in the public property. Once you start messing with like private property, and now it's like when you get home, I guarantee you a bunch of weird shit finna happen to you. If not this month, next month. Not next month, the next month. Not tickets starting to come up. Now you can pull it up weird little shit. Like you just set yourself up to get like tapped, bro.
This is probably one of the worst decisions you could ever make in your life. The whole world is just a script, bro. Like, you know, information is going to come out as they want it to come out. You going to the island is not going to change anything. It's just going to make your own life worse. You really just invited a whole bunch of problems into your life for absolutely no reason.
A Maryland man is charged after telling his friend he had a woman for him, but it was really him dressed as a woman. And let me tell you, this is Wait. Okay, here's the thing, right? There's this ongoing debate that I'm here for because for whatever reason, there's a particular group of men who feel like they gotta argue women down, talking about, so y'all want some simps, that's all. You not ready for no man baddie. And my thing is like, some of y'all, not all of y'all, but some of y'all just want your homeboy. You just want your, and this man, he leaned into his truth. But the thing is, don't tell him you got a woman for him. Lean into your truth. If that's what you going after, sir, just show up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to leave these women alone. If you don't like women, if you hate women, okay. Listen, you ain't gotta hate me if you like your homeboy. You know what I'm saying? That was the chair. You don't have to hate me if you like your homeboy. Just shoot your shot. And if you miss, then hey, there are plenty other shots to take elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? But I wish I would have been there to see what the surprise show that this man was like, come over. Where we going? Around. It's a surprise. Do you like surprises? He didn't, apparently, because he is now charged. So
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. If one of my homies tried this, you're gonna catch the eternal fade because you're bugging. And some people that make these videos need to literally just stop talking, bro, because I don't know what she was rambling about at the end, talking about, oh, like, why do y'all hate us women? Like, bro, what are you even talking about? It has nothing to do with the video.
Bro, so it's being exposed, allegedly, that this guy, Alexis Stone, was like playing Jim Carrey in this whole Paris thing, and he's a makeup artist. We got the facts right here. This is insane. So this is his Instagram right here, and people are going crazy off this video where basically he posted a picture of the mask he was wearing as Jim Carrey, and also like a whole slideshow here. Now the internet is chewing this up. Everybody that either was schizo or is like actually schizo is completely riding with this, and they believe this is not Jim Carrey. This guy, Alexis Stone, was playing Jim Carrey this entire time at this Paris award show. Bro, the craziest part is if you just look at these pictures of Jim Carrey, like from that night, it looks just like, I'm trying to get on the bandwagon of this whole like schizo thing, like Jim Carrey's a clone, but like, bro, it's literally Jim Carrey. I don't know, bro, to sit here and think that a man is wearing a mask and everyone's trying to tie in the fact that I guess in this one video he said he was like allegedly, for anyone that thinks Jim Carrey's a clone, bro, just
did McDonald's CEO really just play in our face like that?
All right, the moment of truth. That is so good. That's a big bite for a big arch. It's distinctively McDonald's. Only McDonald's could do this type of burger, but it also is unlike anything else on our menu. It's a delicious product. You know, you've got sort of the cheeses and the gooiness, but those crispy onions as well gives a nice texture. And of course, we've got the pickles. So
he couldn't even convince himself that he liked that burger. He couldn't even convince himself, let alone convince everybody else. This is what he looked like trying to take a bite out of that burger. He looked like he didn't want that shit. Like that was just the most disgusting thing he ever tried in his life. Everybody know the best thing on McDonald's menu is a double quarter pounder with cheese. That's it. If you're not getting a double quarter pounder with cheese, you might as well drive off. That was straight forced advertising. That was forced advertising, bro. If you can't see that, I don't know what to tell you, man. For real.
Yo, when the CEO gotta make a video talking about, bro, these burgers are so good, you know they're in shambles, bro. It's over.
So if I ever shave my face again, you'll know.
Lifting.
It's not our world.
None of this is real?
Nope.
So you're just passing
We don't
through.
matter. We don't matter.
Then I watched everybody like talking 1,000 miles an hour up there, receiving their awards, and I was like, I'm dead.
Jeffrey Epstein has information and leaked emails of people going out and doing hunting for pleasure. So they would take a whole bunch of throw them into like a forest on a deserted area in clothes where they can't escape, and they would them like game.
Bro, they're doing this for fun.
They're doing this for pleasure, bro. There's no exact proof yet where these locations were.
Bro, is it fair to say, like, other than the island, this could be just one big cult?
They have all the money in the world. They have nothing else to do. They have to excite their brains somehow.
All right, we just made aware of a danger, and it's for anybody that has an iPhone, so please listen up. So the danger that I was made aware of for anybody that has an iPhone, basically the iPhone 17, iOS 17, all the way up to current. Anyway, if you have any type of iPhone that is up to the current date of 2025, you need to go into the settings and change the AirPlay setting to never or ask. Me personally, I would change it to never, because as this is a convenience to be able to transfer information from one cell phone to the other, it's too easy right now. There are hackers out there that have a setting on their phone, and they literally have it where they can take their phone, put it on top of yours or right by it real quickly, and get all your information from your phone in a matter of seconds. And if you think that's not possible, you might want to think again. Josh Rogan had a couple people on his show, and it's very possible. Anyway, I'm displaying it here. You'll go into your AirPlay settings, and you see here it has never, ask, automatic. So you're gonna go and anyway, you can see up there, I would recommend clicking on never, but again, that's just me personally. So I hope this information helped out, especially all of you out there that have iPhones, and so that you can keep your information as safe as possible. Y'all take care, and as always, be safe out there.
You know, we talk about distraction all the time, but with everything going on in the news right now and all around the world, I really don't know what topic they're distracting us from. Everything on the news right now is missiles and retaliation. While no one's talking about those files and all that horrible information that got released where people were resigning all over, there are resignations happening all across governments and businesses connected to that whole mess, but good luck finding that between war graphics. You know, because at this point in time, accountability doesn't trend as well as explosions. And while everyone is staring at maps of the Middle East on the news, the Pentagon has quietly finalized contracts with AI companies. One company said we're not comfortable building autonomous kill bots, and suddenly they're out. The next company in line says, sure, that's fine, we can go full RoboCop. And I'm dead serious, search it out. They're about to go full RoboCop on us. One AI company says it doesn't want to militarize its model, so they just move on and find a company that's okay with it. And the craziest part, that wasn't hidden. It was announced in press releases, just no one paid attention to it because of everything else going on right now. But it's definitely looked like any direction you want to turn, it's about to get bad. I'm not saying there's a mastermind in a dark room pressing buttons, but I'm also saying there's probably a mastermind in a dark room pressing buttons.
This has to be one of the craziest ChatGPT use cases that I've ever seen. So this person took a photo of the floor and then said, I dropped my ring, can you help me find it? ChatGPT then generated an image and drew a circle around exactly where the ring was, and you can see it right there. If you want to see more crazy ChatGPT use cases like this, make sure to follow me.
Just to make sure that we don't do something very foolish. I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon.
And then watch when they go behind the container. So I can actually see.
Actor Daniel Stern, who played Marv in the Home Alone series, was recently caught in a sting by the police when he allegedly attempted to hire in a hotel in California. Daniel Stern is obviously most famous for playing the character of Marv on Home Alone, and in that franchise he plays what amounts to be basically a career criminal. But on December 10th of last year during the holiday season, the 68-year-old Daniel Stern was caught in a police sting operation in Ventura County, California. Now, the police haven't really released any details on what this all means, but what I'm assuming is that they were running a sting operation undercover, basically posing as online, inviting potential Johns, usually men, to the hotel so that these men could pay for. And then when the men were showing up to meet for this illicit activity, they were issued citations. Now, Daniel, when he showed up to meet this, that's according to the police, he was not arrested, he was not booked, a mugshot was not taken. From what I could find online, all he was issued was a citation, and then I believe they just let him go. But this is a shocking development, to say the least. I'll be sure to keep you guys updated on this situation. Be sure to hit the follow button so you stay informed.
None of this nonsense and nothing over the phone. I'm gonna need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes left over from the pizza. All the boxes. Okay. Make sure you recycle the plastic like we talked about. Yeah. Did Jay reach out yet? Nah, Bob. He ghosting.
She was invited to a party that was in the tunnels underneath the Getty Museum.
Wow, how do you even get invited
Now,
to that?
the Getty Museum is really interesting because it has a lot of art, very similar though at what Jeffrey Epstein had in his house.
Yeah.
Like this type of art, you know what I'm saying? This is very much a theory, but the construction workers, when they were building and they were working on it, there was leaks and claims that they've dug deeper and they built things underneath the Getty Museum.
This guy recently was building arcs like from the Bible because he said God wanted him to before the world floods on Christmas. So recently, and that's what I was just gonna say, recently we passed Christmas and all of us are dry.
Yeah.
So then I guess there was a lot of people that actually traveled from other countries and went to Ghana to get on the boat.
Really?
Yes, Mike.
Oh, wow.
So now these people are just there in Ghana.
Yeah, with no flood happening.
With no flood happening, and they went there, and now it's almost like they just wasted all their time.
Yeah.
What blew a lot of people's minds is this guy has been doing the craziest things after all this got exposed. They recently caught this dude driving in a Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, yeah.
And
there you go. Now it's all coming into fruition, huh?
I'm telling you, and he's still wearing the little like Noah rags and all that in the car.
That's good.
It's
That's
crazy.
good
And
stuff.
then also went and did like this huge concert, green screen thing behind him with like the ocean or basically like the
wave.
flood.
Yeah, the flood. Yeah.
The flood behind him, and he's doing this whole thing. You know what I mean? And these people are eating it up.
You guys thought he was like actually
A real
modern
Messiah
day Noah
or something, or modern day Noah, literally.
And it's like, bro, I mean, I could have told y'all he was lying.
A chilling find after people are finding microchips hiding inside their Labubu dolls.
These are Labubu dolls, the latest craze trending all over social media. And when they are back in stock, they typically sell out in minutes. These highly desirable collectibles come available in blind boxes, which means you won't know what you're getting until you open the box, and some collectors are finding more than they bargained for.
My dog chewed up my Labubu, and that's when I saw it. That's when I saw the microchip.
Collectors claim to have found microchips inside the plush toys, capable of recording audio and transmitting data.
I'm returning my Labubus because I paid way too much money to be getting spied on, and I feel betrayed.
Authorities suspect these devices, hidden in the doll's stuffing, may be part of something sinister.
We are investigating the matter, and this appears to be an isolated incident unrelated to the company.
As the toy's global supply chain faces scrutiny. From fashion fad to sneaky spies, Labubu dolls continue to sell out everywhere. Will you be getting one?
Morbid Facts, Part 891. Here's a police sketch that was released during the investigation into the disappearance of Madeleine McCann, a case that remains unsolved nearly 2 decades later. In 2007, Madeleine vanished from a holiday apartment in Praia da Luz, Portugal, while her parents were dining nearby. She'd been left asleep with her younger siblings, and when her mother went to check on the children later that night, Madeleine's bed was empty and the bedroom window was open. As the investigation dragged on, police issued multiple suspect sketches based on eyewitness accounts, including one female person of interest that later drew widespread attention due to its striking resemblance to Ghislaine Maxwell, the British former socialite who was convicted in 2021 of for Jeffrey Epstein. Despite one of the largest missing child investigations in European history, no definitive trace of Madeleine has ever been found, as her fate remains unknown. Dan Burroughs was a high-ranking white supremacist in the 1960s, serving as the third highest member of the American Party and a Grand Dragon of the New York. But in 1965, the New York Times revealed that Burroughs was actually Jewish, raised in a family, attended Hebrew school, and even had a bar mitzvah. Hours after the article was published, Burroughs took his own life, and the organizations he led immediately disavowed him as the revelation became public.
She's excited because for the first time in her life, she says she's in a human body. Those are her exact words. And honestly, how are we supposed to understand that? Just look at this girl. Don't you feel like she's not quite like everyone else? There's something unusual about her. Her eyes look so strange, but at the same time, she seems genuinely happy. It reminds me of the kind of eyes we see all over TikTok where people call that expression the demon look. And the same thing seems to be happening here. But why would she say it's her first time being in a human body? Doesn't that sound at least a little weird? The video almost feels like proof that sometimes people give in to something we can't explain. Something strange like an entity that's not from our world. Or maybe it just looks that way. So what do you think is really going on here? Have you ever seen anything like this before? Or is it all fake? just a way to grab attention and go viral. Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm really curious what you think.
Never ask your cat if they remember being human. If you have a cat right now, I suggest kicking them out of the room while you listen to this. Cats already move like they know more than they should understand. Staring at empty corners, standing awkwardly in the doorway, sitting very humanly. Have you seen these creepy images people upload of their cats sitting very weirdly and giving a human stare? It's just weird. They watch things we obviously can't see and guard the doorway like if something is coming. But one night, someone jokingly looked at their cat and asked them if they were human. The cat didn't blink, it didn't do anything, it simply walked into a mirror and disappeared. Not the window, not the door, but you heard correctly, it walked right into the mirror. And all you could see from the other side was the cat, staring right at you. Ever since that day, the cat started acting very strange. It would sit like a human, and every day at 3:17 a.m., it would sit on the owner's belly and stare at them. Imagine waking up to your cat and seeing its glowing eyes. Most people believe that cats don't use their 9 lives, but they collect them. So maybe don't ask questions you're not ready to hear.
You know, I was gonna ask my cat this question after seeing this video, but I would rather not see this happen, so you know, I'm just gonna take their word for it. So you know, definitely don't ask your cat this.
Jim Carrey was just confronted about being a clone, and you truly won't believe how he responded. So as all of you know, there's a big conspiracy that Jim Carrey got cloned and he is no longer the real Jim Carrey. So just a little bit ago when he was exiting a hotel, a bunch of people were surrounding him and he started to sign some autographs when someone just straight up asked him, "Are you the real Jim Carrey or were you cloned?" Jim Carrey almost immediately started to smile and shake his head, and then he just said the word "what?" So it just really seems like Jim Carrey had no idea what that person was talking about at all, and was just very confused as to why he asked him that question in the first place. So it is very likely that Jim Carrey genuinely has no idea what is going on right now, that so many people think that he has actually been cloned and that he is no longer the real Jim Carrey, because he was just so confused when that person asked him that question. But that is just really how he responded. He just smiled, shook his head, and then said what. So he's very confused about that. He doesn't probably know what's going on, which is pretty interesting. And I'm just definitely really curious to know your thoughts about all of this.
What's the most blood-curdling fact you know? In the 1960s, NASA funded an experiment to teach dolphins English. They were like giving the dolphins to maybe help them communicate with humans better. And it seemed to be working pretty well. Like dolphins were kind of learning how to communicate with humans. The reason the experiment ended was because one of the scientists working with the dolphins was having sex with a dolphin named Peter. So they had to end the experiment, and then Peter.
In 2006, Ray Rivera, an aspiring filmmaker, suddenly left his house after receiving a phone call. He told his wife, "Oh," and walked out the door. He never came back. And 8 days later, Ray's found inside a closed conference room of the Belvedere Hotel in Baltimore. But here's the problem. There was a hole in the roof, and it was far from any ledge he could have from. There was no witnesses, no security footage, no clear path. His phone and glasses were found near the hole, undamaged. And then investigators discovered something even stranger. A long cryptic note taped behind Ray's computer, filled with movie references, secret societies, and coded language. Police called it a unaliving, a self-deletion, if you will. His family didn't buy it because the math wasn't mathin'. The physics didn't work, and the note felt like something meant to be decoded, not read. So the question still hangs there. What happened to Ray Rivera, and why doesn't the story add up? Stay weird.
The DOJ has just released 10 hours of surveillance footage of Ghislaine Maxwell in prison. And Houston, we got a problem. For one, the timestamp in this video is January 2020. And that's odd because that's more than 2 years before Ghislaine Maxwell was sentenced to prison. Not only that, but this doesn't look like the Ghislaine Maxwell that we know. Which is suspicious when you take into account the 4chan message that was released in the most recent Epstein drop that had a prison guard saying, "You guys, I'm shaking right now, but I think they switched him out," referring to Jeffrey Epstein. When you look at the new photo that also was released in the Epstein drop of his body being rolled out of jail, and you compare the profile to when Epstein was alive, there are quite a few differences. No shape, ears, distance between eyebrows and eyes. But would they switch out Ghislaine, and why? Well, it turns out that on Monday she's supposed to be testifying in front of Congress. And she's one of the last living people that can name names under oath. So is it possible that they want us to get used to seeing this Ghislaine?
This is the most evil man on the entire earth. This guy is Mark Detroit, and what he did is one of the craziest things you will ever hear. Mark and his wife Michelle lived in Belgium and were both involved in the acts committed. Mark would buy multiple properties. He owned lots of properties in Belgium, and he would use each one as a dungeon. He would go out to the streets, find willing people, bring them back here and do things that I can't even speak about on here. Underneath the homes he built soundproof chambers so no one could hear the noises of what was going on, and went on to take many, putting them under the ground in these chambers and doing the completely unthinkable. He eventually did get caught for the of over 5 people, but then was released after just 2 years and went straight back to doing the exact same thing again. When he got out though, it got worse because this time he decided he wasn't going to keep anybody alive. He would do the act and then would them. His own mother even called the cops on him saying what he was doing, but they did not believe him and didn't do anything. They even went round to the house but couldn't hear anything because there's a soundproof chamber. Not long later, Michelle, his wife, was actually arrested and did confess to the police, leading them back to the house where they found what was going on, where all of these photos were then captured and he was subsequently arrested.
Man was shopping in a toy section of Walmart, right? And he pointed out some labels, not liable for data collection, on kids' toys. And it's not just the girl toys, right? He's finna go to the dinosaur monster, right? Not liable for data collection. What? We ain't never seen nothing like that growing up when we went to Target and Toys R Us. I don't even think I ever got toys from Walmart growing up. I was at Toys R Us. I was trying to go to. I had ChatGPT. I'm like, what does that even mean? If a label or a toy says something like not liable for data collection or similarly wording, it generally means the company isn't taking responsibility for how data might be collected when someone uses their product. How are you collecting data from a stagnant machine toy? They aren't promising to protect or manage your data. Information. It doesn't mean we absolutely won't collect data. It means they're not legally responsible for it. So basically like, hey, it's on you. After you buy it, it's on you. And you still trust these brands, bro? And you gotta think about this. What about, bro? They still doing business with them though. So how? This just makes why are these labels just now being introduced? Technology's been around for years. How would they take data from a toy?
This is one of the rarest moments ever caught on camera. The reaction of an isolated tribe that has spent decades avoiding any contact with the outside world. In front of the man is a mannequin, set up by American researchers to see how they would respond to a figure resembling a modern human. The tribe is called the Manti. Very little is known about them. They live deep in the forests and remote river valleys, almost completely cut off from the outside world. Getting this close to them had never been possible before, which is why this footage is considered so extraordinary. The goal was simple: to subtly show them something that looks like a human and capture their reaction. Until this moment, nobody knew how they would respond to outsiders. What happened next stunned even the scientists from Louisiana who have dedicated their careers to studying isolated tribes. And here's a fascinating detail. Those sounds you just heard, they weren't from an animal. They were made by a member of the tribe. According to researchers, this might actually be how they communicate with each other. Since they've never learned any outside language, their culture has remained completely untouched.
At this point, just leave them alone. You know, they got their own thing going on. We got our own thing going on. You're literally just asking to get put into a blender, bro. Like,
tell me this doesn't give you chills. There's a video going around of former Brazilian President Michel Temer giving a speech when suddenly you hear his voice change. But there's another version of this video you may not have seen. So the version you've probably seen is this one.
Ao mesmo tempo, nós não vamos parar por aí. Já estão encomendados.
In this version, his voice sounds very distorted and almost inhuman. This, of course, adds to the conspiracy theory that the people in power may not be who they appear to be. But I found the original version of that video. And as you can clearly hear, he is just dealing with a frog in his throat or a cough. But I'm sure there are still going to be conspiracy theorists who still will not buy this explanation. Is this version the original? Or is this one? And that's the gloriousness of the internet. I'll leave it up to you to decide.
The Raza's favorite grandma is now being accused of the worst. We're talking about Carmen Salinas. They're saying that back in the days, she was sacrificing these, but the real life ones, of course. A dude went on a podcast and said all of this. Chat, we have all of the details to tell you in this video.
Todas esas personas yo las conozco, sé cómo viven. Bueno, la Carmelita Salinas decía que era católica, ¿no? Y te compraba los si ibas a esos.
This is some very wild words for our favorite grandma, and now her own daughter is coming out in her defense saying, bro, all those accusations are not even true at all. Stop defaming my mama's name. Some fans believe that the accusations are really true. They're saying, bro, just look at her eyes. Now, if you guys didn't know, Carmen Salinas actually passed away back in 2021, like 4 or 5 years ago. I always knew that this is Raza's favorite grandma, but for me, my boy, she actually does look like one of my grandmas. But if all the accusations are really true, she no longer looks like one of my grandmas, my boy. At the end of the day, Shawty was part of Hollywood. And in Mexico, you already know that they do a lot of brujeria, and then they try to pass it off as Catholic. But in Catholicism, it's not even okay to do stuff like that. Chat, I'm your boy 44 Vato. I always report on stuff like this. What do you guys think about this one? Let me know. Drop a comment.
There's a conspiracy that says birds, at least some of them, aren't biological. They're surveillance drones. And before you laugh, listen to this. A guy in Tennessee posted a video after he found a pigeon in a parking lot. He said when he picked it up, something fell off. The body was stiff, but not. And inside the he claimed he saw thin metallic wiring instead of. The video blew up, then it kind of disappeared. Now, the official explanation is simple. It was fake, a prank, a prop. But people who believe in this theory say birds started disappearing in huge numbers in the 1950s. Around the same time, surveillance tech exploded. They point to birds sitting perfectly still on power lines. Cameras need elevation. Drones need charging. Power lines are everywhere. Next time you see a pigeon not blinking for way too long, ask yourself, why does it feel like it's watching you? Stay weird.
Four adult siblings, Edward, Dominic, Marie Nicole, and Aldo Casio, have filed a federal lawsuit in Los Angeles against the estate of the late Michael Jackson and related companies. They claim that Jackson essayed them as and rapped them for SEO purposes starting when they were just old. According to the complaint, Jackson used his fame, money, and influence to win their trust, showering them with gifts and attention before isolating them from adults and them. Jackson was introduced to this family back in the 80s by way of these children's father, Frank Casio Sr., who worked at a luxury hotel that Michael Jackson frequented. In an old article, it says that Michael viewed the Casios as his second family, and that Michael would frequently go to the Casios' residence for dinners and long talks around the kitchen counter. The Casio family said that Michael would celebrate Christmas with them, and that even after he had his own children, they were still a big part of Michael's life. They say that they were even there for the birth of his children. The siblings are alleging that the took place for more than a decade and occurred in multiple locations around the world. These included Neverland Ranch, their own family home in New Jersey when Jackson stayed there, and the homes of other celebrities such as Elizabeth Taylor's property in Switzerland and Elton John's home in the UK. They're claiming that Jackson's associates helped cover up the and the complaint also claims he gave them DRU devices, exposed them to videos that were and use psychological manipulation to keep them silent. In addition to the lawsuit's claims of and rap, the lawsuit also alleges negligence, fraud, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The siblings are seeking around $200 million in damages and want to invalidate a previous settlement that paid each sibling roughly $690,000 per year for 5 years. They're saying that that settlement was coerced and inadequate. The legal action is therefore both a bid for financial compensation and an attempt to hold Jackson's estate accountable for the alleged wrongdoing, including enabling or covering up against these A hearing on this settlement matter is scheduled for March 5th, 2026. Michael Jackson's estate has strongly denied these allegations, calling the lawsuit, quote, a desperate money grab, with the estate's attorney Marty Singer noting that the family had previously defended Michael Jackson publicly in interviews and books for years. What are your guys' thoughts on all of this? Let me know in the comments.
I mean, it's hard to form opinions on what's true and what's not because Michael Jackson is not here. So it's kind of hard to judge these situations because, you know, some stories just don't make sense and don't add up, but he's also not here to give his account of things. I don't know. Every time I hear something about him, it's just words. Like I haven't seen really any evidence. I haven't, you know, it's just kind of this person said this person said that. So it's kind of hard to judge whether, you know, these are accurate statements or not.
This video shows the final moments of Samantha Josephson before she gets into the wrong Uber. Josephson was this 21-year-old senior college student, and she was out partying with her friends one night. So it was getting late, so she ordered an Uber, and she was waiting outside for it. That's when her friend said that they saw her get into a black Impala, but little did they know that would be the last time they'd see her.
Oh no.
So it turns out that car wasn't her Uber. The car belonged to this guy named Nathaniel Rowland.
Oh my, bro, I have chills, bro.
In the video, you can see that black Impala just circling the area, as if like waiting for...
Oh my God.
And instantly she knew she made the wrong decision because he wasn't going to her destination and she couldn't get out because he had on.
No, bro. I'm genuinely have chills all over my body.
And she was like one of the most horrifying ever. She was at least 120 times.
Oh my God.
So they had the car on camera and police were on it immediately because it was in a case. Luckily, Nathaniel wasn't the smartest criminal and he kind of left a huge trail. He tried to use her credit card at different places, tried to withdraw money. He was even used her car at Wendy's drive-thru they saw him at. So it wasn't too long where they actually caught him. So he pulled him over and he smelled like so he had probable cause to get him out of the car. He immediately ran. They ended up catching him. But what they would find in the car is actually crazy. They find her car keys.
What?
And her phone.
Is he stupid?
Yeah. And the back seat was covered and still had in the back.
Yo, this dude he like wanted to get caught.
They would end up finding an eviction letter to where he used to live with his ex-girlfriend. That would lead him to find the weapon. But even with all that evidence, they still needed a witness to put Nathaniel away to make sure he would be found guilty. So they got Nathaniel's ex-girlfriend to testify against him, even though she was like scared and she had a lot of and she wasn't really sure to testify or not, but she ended up doing it. So he ended up getting life in prison.
I know my son didn't do this.
He is guilty of, and if you had any testimony that you wanted to give for the jury to consider, the trial was the time to do that. I'm not listening to any claim of what he did not do.
And her parents ended up starting a foundation called What's My Name? I guess the silver lining of the case is that it brought awareness to rideshare safety.
Yeah.
They asked this man, Bill Clinton, why did Epstein say you like him young? This man couldn't even get his words out. He was like, first of all, and then he stopped. He was like, first of all, I don't like underage girls. She said, I didn't say underage.
That Epstein said, you quote, like them young. Why would Epstein say that about you? Why would Epstein say that about you?
She's asking you to try to be in Mr. Epstein's mind and guess at what Mr. Epstein would have thought about.
Clinton likes them young, referring to girls.
First of all, that's not true.
What's not true?
That I have any interest in under.
I didn't say underage. I said young.
But it's still not true.
Is an intern young?
He said that last part quick. Once he noticed, he said under girls, and she said not under. She said, and that's still not true. Then that boy started shaking like a stripper, fool. He was trying to drink his little tea, coffee, or whatever he had in that little mug, and his hands was like, maybe he got Parkinson's, or maybe he lying.
People really get caught in the worst way and they still lie. Bro, you was literally caught in 4K sitting in that hot tub, bro. You was having the time of your life, bro. You may as well just snitch, bro. At this point, like, it's over for you, bro.
America's favorite coffee might receive a ban. An investigation confirmed a pharmaceutical-grade solvent in some of Dunkin's most popular drinks, and RFK Jr. just placed them on notice.
This guy has no idea his latte is soaked with a paint stripper solvent. Dunkin's
caramel latte has 0 caramel. It's an industrial sugar base, colored using an ammonia dye, then masked with flavoring compounds they're not legally required to name. The coffee itself gets dirtier. Beans soaked in an aircraft degreaser called methylene chloride, poured in a cup laced with PFAS, chemicals that never leave your body. It got worse after scanning it. Ultra processed with a plastic transfer risk. Check my profile to download the app.
Almond milk cause indigestion, diabetes, cancer, dementia, nerve diseases, eczema, because it's high in what you call cyanogenic compounds that form into cyanide when you consume it. So this actually deteriorates your nervous system. Stay away from almond milk, okay? Almonds are high in cyanogenic compounds. It's best to utilize hemp seeds. You can make your own milk out of hemp seeds. That's a better option.
Now, making your almond milk at home is still a better option than just going in the store, bro. Like, but he said, yeah, hemp seeds, but I still would drink almond milk. I'm not going into the store getting that, replacing it with milk. Like, once I cut milk out, like, I'll eat a banana, bro, a date, or like, you know, like if I get a smoothie, I get bananas in my smoothie. That's like my milk now. Like, all you need to make your own is 1 cup of raw almonds, 3 to 4 cups of water, a pinch of salt, vanilla, and dates and cinnamon. I'm definitely not gonna be going to the store buying some almond milk, almond breeze, sitting in this container like this, bro. No. You don't know how they pack. You don't know what their process was. See, everyone processes their food. I don't want their processed food. When you go in these grocery stores, bro, just try to stay away from stuff that's in this type of packaging, plastic or boxes, as much as possible, because it's not impossible. It's not easy.
Have you heard of the guru Sanjit Rohan, who can climb with just his feet through meditation, and he lives in that hole right there on the cliff? He has his home up there, and they said what was crazy is when he carried his sofa up, he just put it on his shoulders and he just climbed up with his feet and just got right in the hole. And a lot of U.S. climbers now are trying to go and learn his ways because they're saying, I can become the best climber in the world if I can learn not how to use my hands. And so I'm curious what you think about it all.
Yo, I don't know what they got in the water over there, but I'm gonna need some of that, because if bro could just walk up the mountain with no hands, just casually, and bro said he carried a sofa on his shoulder up there. Like, hopefully this is AI, because if this is real, good luck.
This video shows the last moments of Peter Bergman, the man that never existed.
What?
Okay, so he was called the man that never existed because he quite literally never existed. So this all took place in Sligo, Ireland, right? A small town, like I think 20,000 people live there. This was in June 2009.
Okay.
All we know is what was seen on CCTV footage. So on June 12th, he arrived from Derry, which is another town in Ireland. He arrives into Sligo and he checks into a hotel for 3 nights. But he gives them a fake name. So Peter Bergman isn't really his name. He gives them a fake address, which comes up to like a vacant lot in Austria. He pays in cash, and normally they ask for ID, but he didn't give an ID and they just let it go. But the odd part of this like whole thing is that he's seen leaving in and out of the hotel like 13 times with a plastic purple bag, and they believe that he was like throwing away items that he owned. The way the detectives described it is that he's so good at like not appearing on security cameras. Like he's very elusive. So they don't know where he dumps all these things at. So on June 13th, it was reported that he bought stamps, I guess to send out mail to somebody he knows.
Okay.
June 15th, he checks out the hotel. He ends up taking a bus to this place called Rosa Point Beach. All the locals describe seeing him just out of place. He's wearing black leather jacket, and he's the old guy, and he just stands out. So the next day, a father and son who are like practicing for a triathlon, they stumble across what they thought was a mannequin, but it was actually his body in the water. When police retrieve the body, they check all his clothes and stuff. They found like all the tags on his clothes like cut up.
What?
So this guy really didn't want nobody to know anything about him.
Why would he do that?
I guess to like not trace back where the clothes came from. Literally, he left no trace at all.
Yeah, that's who he was.
So the autopsy report comes back. He didn't actually die from like drowning. He died from like a cardiac arrest. And they also showed that he had advanced prostate cancer. And the odd part was that he had like no system, so he wasn't taking any pain or anything, which the doctor said was quite odd for somebody to be that advanced. So what that told was that he was terminally ill. And I guess he came to this place in Ireland to just pass away, they have his DNA, so you would think they could find find anyone with DNA, right? But his DNA was in any database, like I said, like Interpol's database, nothing, the entire Europe.
It's literally as if he never existed.
Adrian Ross' sister didn't make it. Rest in peace to Madeline. She passed away at the age of 30 36. Now, people that like to put numbers together are talking about 3 6s, but no, she just passed away at 36. Now, what's funny about this is that people are saying that she passed away in January, but they wanted to keep things private. So we are now finding out about it in March. People are also saying that it was a sacra. I don't know, why would they say that? People pass away, guys. It's a part of life. Everything is not a sacra. My condolences goes out to Madeline and her family. Aiden Ross, stay strong, bro. We know how this could feel. So, like I said, guys, she passed away in January, but the family wanted to keep it private. This is what people are saying. I'm not sure. Go look it up. But rest in peace to Madeline. She was only 36 years old. That's why we got to be grateful, guys. We got to be thankful and live life to the fullest, because we never know when it's our time to go. Rest in peace, Madeline. Aiden Ross, stay strong. Let me know what you think about this, guys. Go look it up. This is what people are saying. I'm out.
So apparently there's a virus on the rise that cannot be cured. And again, this virus comes from overseas. And again, this virus can be contracted from fruit bats. Tell me what that sounds like to you. This virus is called Nipah. Rare, extremely dangerous. And when it shows up, it doesn't announce itself. This is a virus that they're saying has no cure. And if they're saying that a virus has no cure, it deserves a lot of attention. You gotta remember, we watched this movie play out in 2020. Saw the videos of people passing out. We ignored early warning signs. And then we watched how things spiraled out. We watched how people got sick. We watched how people lost their lives. And then we watched the blame be passed from one country to the next. Nipah jumps from animals to human beings, and sometimes from person to person. Again, fruit bats carry it. They're saying it spreads through contaminated food, surfaces, and physical contact. And again, here's the part that people don't like hearing. There is no cure. There is no approved vaccine. Doctors can only manage the symptoms and hope your body holds up. It's saying that the early symptoms look mild. Fever, headache, muscle pain, vomiting, sore throat. That's the stuff people usually brush off. And then it escalates. Severe breathing problem, brain inflammation, seizures, coma, death. Saying that past outbreaks hit fatality rates up to 75%. That's unreal. And here's the uncomfortable truth. When information moves slow, viruses don't. Transparency isn't optional. It's the difference between control and chaos. Pay attention.
Just watched reveals Lady Gaga's dark hidden side, and what she has been hiding is terrifying. For years, many of us believed that Lady Gaga was one of the artists who stayed on the right path to become famous, but in reality, not at all. She was actually one of the first to choose the dark side, and there are many videos of her that are genuinely disturbing. For some time now, she has been making more and more strange appearances. It started in 2011 when she came to the Grammys inside a demonic egg carried by people dressed like slaves who seemed to have Satan's horns growing from their head. That was 15 years ago, and it had already shocked people. But the worst part is her most recent appearance, like at Coachella in 2025 when she showed up with this choreography that deeply intrigued people. The most recent one in February, where she appeared like this. All the fans present said they felt a strange sensation during that concert, as if their energy was being drained. The further Lady Gaga's career goes, the more she only appears with the same symbolism. Red everywhere, horns, and especially outfits that resemble Satan more and more each time. You might think it is not intentional on her part, but that is false. Everything changed in 2009 when she released the song Alejandro. The music video is literally a ritual that anyone can see. She clearly shows that she is no longer the same in it, because you can plainly see her swallowing a cross of Jesus, even though Lady Gaga had previously said she was Christian. Since she chose that path, many others have followed it and are doing even worse, and I do not think it is going to stop anytime soon.
Did you see what DJ Vlad said? That Tory Lanez has been framed, and he has all these details? Tory Lanez might be innocent. DJ Vlad claims Along with the entire jury and judge, they were paid off to convict Tory Lanez by Jay-Z's Rock Nation. Listen, this is his tweet. I have a confession. Rock Nation has been paying me to support Megan. They also paid off all of the jury members to convict Tory. And they also bribed the judge too. Jay-Z did a verse for his grandson's new album.
Okay.
They paid off Megan's doctor to lie about the bullet fragments. She was never shot.
No!
The LA police are all on Jay-Z's payroll, and it doesn't stop with LA, but you're not ready to hear that part. The Mexican guy who stabbed Tory, who do you think paid him to do that? You already know the answer. The 3 Supreme Court judges who denied Tory's appeal are all paid off by Rock Mafia. Jay also paid Trump not to pardon Tory. Even though it's a state case, Trump can only pardon federal cases. But knowing Trump likes to bend the rules, Jay wasn't taking any chances to let him free.
That's so crazy.
I can't keep these lies secret anymore. And if this is my last tweet, you know who silenced me. That's what DJ Vlad said. So if something happens to DJ Vlad because all this information came out, insane.
Jay-Z and his ginormous nose are back at it again, bro. Like, every time I hear about this dude, bro, him and that big old sniffer of his are up to absolutely no good. I think it's time we just, call it quits on Jay-Z.
What's that? Oh, people are figuring out that you can put a glass of water by your bedside and it can extract things from your body that may be causing harm. Tell me more! Yeah, more and more people are talking about how they're putting a glass of water, clean glass of water by their bedside, and they're telling it something before they go to bed, what it is they want it to do. This can be things like cleanse me from a disease that I have right now, or this sickness that I have, things like that. And what people are figuring out about this is when they wake up, they can check the glass of water to see what's going on with it. And if it is bubbly at the top of it, that means that whatever was in your body that you asked it to do, it took it out. But sometimes that may not be all of it, so you have to do it repeatedly, pretty much every night, and it can take out whatever's in there, and it will actually even make the water murky and a little off color. Okay? People are saying that they have never felt healthier after doing this. Oh, goody.
Here's how to know if you're eating fake lab-grown meat or real meat. Companies are trying to use sneaky words so that you don't know the difference. If you see on a label where it says cell cultured meat or cultivated meat, it is really lab-grown meat, not the real thing. I don't know why companies can't just be honest and say it's cell-grown meat and give you the choice, but now you know how to spot the difference between real meat and fake lab-grown meat.
Y'all remember the camels? Do you remember what they told us about the humps? Let's all say together what they told us about the humps. They are for heat regulation. Yeah, heat regulation. No, they don't have water in there, y'all. Another thing that we have been lied to when we were children. Like, why, America? Why would you lie about what camels keep in their humps? How does that help us? Or how does that hurt us? You know what I'm saying? And then the fact of the matter is, this hump is its mobile battery generator. Whenever the camel gets hungry, it uses the fat that's stored in this hump in order to keep going. There's no water there. And it's the same situation with the 2-hump camels. These things can go a lot longer in the desert because they store more fat. There is no water there. When the fat is metabolized, it produces heat and energy and some water. But it's not drinking water from the humps. You know, I for one am so happy those 1,000 teachers quit in Arizona, because if this is the type of thing that you are teaching us, then yeah. But who else was told that these things contain water for the camels to go long days in the desert? Let me know that in the comments below, y'all. The shift is here. Let's get it. Peace in.
What if Michael Jackson was actually protecting the kids, not hurting them? What if he wasn't the monster the media painted him as? What if he was trying to protect kids? This theory points out something strange. Michael Jackson did spend most of his life surrounded by children, but many of those kids, now adults, have consistently said he never hurt them. Some have even said he made them feel safe in an industry that didn't. Then there's his music. Songs like They Don't Care About Us and Money Weren't Subtle. He openly criticized powerful people, media, manipulation, and exploitation, especially of the After Michael started speaking more aggressively about corruption in the industry, his reputation collapsed almost overnight. Endless headlines, trials televised like spectacles. Even after being found not guilty, the damage was already done. His image was tainted. Let's be real, Michael was the biggest artist in the world, and he knew things. He saw how Hollywood really worked, and instead of playing along, he became a problem. And if that's true, then destroying his image wasn't justice, it was damage control. Stay weird.
I really want to know why we were calling Dr. Phil Dr. Phil, because at the time of the Dr. Phil show, this man didn't even have an active medical license. This documentary on Dr. Phil, Dirty Rotten Scandals, literally just shows what everybody's been saying for years, that Dr. Phil just used people's real trauma and medical issues for entertainment. I'm so glad that this documentary brought up this episode right here from the Dr. Phil show that had a contestant named Todd who struggled with alcoholism, because this was one of the wildest episodes that was very hard to watch. We watched Todd come out with Dr. Phil onto the stage for this show, and he is messed up. He is slurring his words so badly, he could barely keep his eyes open, and he was staggering all over the place. We see Dr. Phil give this man a breathalyzer and start talking to him about his drinking habits. And then a bombshell happens, because Todd actually comes out to major news media and claims that he actually got drunk in his dressing room at the Dr. Phil show because there was a bottle of vodka left in his dressing room. He also claimed that he was given before he came out with Dr. Phil onto the stage.
There's 2 liters of vodka and like some Red Bulls and orange juice and stuff like that. You know, being unsupervised by my parents, I drank the entire bottle. And then at some point somebody gave me they said, this will calm your nerves. And so I had been drinking and took a which I've never taken before in my life. And I know that can be a combination. So why it was given to me, I don't know.
Dr. Phil.
Hi, I'm Todd. Next thing you know, I'm being carried onto the stage because I can barely walk.
How drunk do you think you are right now?
An entire bottle of vodka.
Keep going. 0.263. What's going to happen to you if you keep drinking?
Hearing Todd say this was so utterly disturbing because, mind you, he was going on this show hoping, like many other contestants, that they were going to get help for what they were going through. And in all honesty, I think most of us have known for years now that former Dr. Phil's show was something that was actually very horrendous. Using these adults and children's trauma and medical issues for entertainment for the whole world to watch just never sounded right. This is one documentary that I highly suggest you watch because it's also bringing things together even more, where there's even more questions for former Dr. Phil. But y'all, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
They literally set this dude up for failure just to get mad views. They knew this dude had problems drinking, so they left a whole bottle unsupervised in his room, thinking that he was gonna be like, nah bro, you know, I'm gonna turn a new leaf. Bro has a problem. That's why he's on the show. So y'all are just supplying his problem, and then you tell him he's got more of a problem.
What's that? Oh, the CIA released a document saying that the Earth is a hologram. Imagine that. And that we can access superhuman abilities. And they explain so how in this document. Tell me more! Yeah, you heard that right. According to the CIA released document, they explain how humans can access superhuman ability. Now, the way they say that you can do this is by going through hemisync. Oh, what's hemisync, you ask? Well, it's basically getting your brain synced up together so that both parts of the brain are in harmony. Okay. So how do we do that? Oh, well, what you do is you have to have a frequency playing in each ear, but a different frequency on each ear between 3 and 7 hertz. Okay. The document states that basically once you have this hemisync, you are able to basically do anything in this hologram. I love it.
I'm pretty sure the NBA is not going to like the fact that Jeremy Lin just exposed what a lot of us already knew and a lot of people was thinking, that the NBA is rigged. It's some rigging to it. Listen to what Jeremy Lin said, and then y'all got to watch The White Howard body language. It don't lie, fool.
I'm trying to throw anyone under the bus, but there was one specific game where it really hit me was I had 20 and 10 after 3 quarters. We were up about 15 to 18. And in the 4th quarter in overtime, I didn't play 1 second.
I think he was with
so
the
I'm
Knicks.
looking at the assistant coach, watching our lead go down. I have 20 and 10 after 3 quarters. Like, I'm on pace to have a real nice game. And like, and he goes, yeah, we got the call from above. You're done for tonight.
They call.
And so I was like, what? Like, who picked up the phone? How'd y'all get on the phone in the middle of the game? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, what happened? And but they got a look from somebody in the crowd was like, nah. Like, so me and this other player, the other player who was doing really, he had like 25 after 3 quarters. They're both like, yo, those two, they're done. And so we ended up losing in overtime. And this was against another team that was also tied for last. And they were trying to get, the best projection.
So essentially, he was saying the team that he was on, which I believe it was the Knicks, they were tanking games. Somebody higher up was like, hey, take them out. We gotta lose these games, fool. I don't think this is nothing new to me. I'm already hip to the game. Y'all let me know down below in the comments how y'all feel about this, though.
You have to sacrifice loved ones. You have to sacrifice loved ones for a long period of time if you want to be great. It is very unfortunate, and you feel it at times. You know the saying: if it's too hot, get the hell out of the kitchen. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta get out of the kitchen because it gets hot. Sacrifice loved ones for a long period of time if you want to be great.
Have you noticed that straight male creators are getting more and more zesty?
A lot of you men in this generation are way too feminine, bro.
You know a bad bitch like me had to go on a little girls trip. Okay. Yeah.
Women don't just support gay men online. They protect them. And some creators have figured out how to adopt those same mannerisms to borrow that protection. Welcome to the Zesty Files.
I mean, everybody's going to do what they want to do at the end of the day, but, this push of everyone being fruity is, getting a little too crazy because when everyone sees the cool people or, the cool people doing something, they're going to do it. So it's kind of a bad influence if you ask me.
Hey, they saying China might have found something that reverses diabetes. And Boosie said he want to go to China so they can go ahead and try to get that shit up out of him. They said China used stem cells to reverse type 1 and type 2 diabetes in humans. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Why the fuck China always doing something in the US? We don't be doing shit. But before people start saying it, it's not a cure yet. The scientists is still working on it. So scientists is taking the stem cells and turning them into insulin cells and then putting them inside the body. So they did this to a human and they said he was able to go without insulin for a couple of months. So they went back to the drawing board and now they said from a couple of months, it can go from years without insulin. So this is a big achievement. It's a big breakthrough, but it's not a cure yet. But I wouldn't be surprised in a couple of years, they find a way to make this shit a cure. And it's like they really want to help the people. Over here, I don't know.
Hey, did y'all know that lizards supposedly don't like bells? According to a theory, certain non-human, let's say management types, don't enjoy certain sound frequencies. Something about rattling their true disguise. The whole concept is that certain tones act like, let's say, x-ray glasses. You hit just the right frequency and suddenly the human suit starts to glitch. And I mean really glitch, not like those videos where people just pause it just right. Kind of like in They Live when the signal tower goes down and everyone finally sees what's really walking around in that business suit. Supposedly old church bells were replaced because certain reptilian imposters didn't like the frequency those bells could hit. Now when you hear church bells coming out of church, well, those bells are actually recording because the frequency is different from the old school metal kind. So maybe those bells actually had two purposes. They were calling people into the house of prayer, but also they were an imposter detector, let's say. I mean, it would be pretty freaky. Imagine walking down the street and a bell rings and suddenly half the people walking around start blinking sideways. Peter the Reptile Till keeps talking about the Antichrist. Maybe we just need to see him in front of an old school church. I always say John Carpenter's been warning us this whole time.
Hold on, y'all. Pause for a minute. I've been telling you guys that we are in a real life movie/video game, and this video over here just proved it. So this new technology got unveiled in Las Vegas, of all places, and this technology allows her nails to be changed in real time without even going to a nail salon, using AI, I believe. And she puts her thumb in this little box and this thing does everything for her. Check this out. This is crazy.
You just saw nails that change color.
There's no button, you just stick it in.
How do I know which color to keep it?
Pick the color on the app. So right now it's on this color right here, but if you connect the wands, you can pick any of the palettes that you create.
Can you pick one?
Yeah, so if I sync it like this, now it'll be blue.
Okay.
So it'll start cycling through, and then it'll end on blue.
Ladies, do you know how amazing this is? Man, I said new technologies are going to be coming really, really quickly because we are in a fire horse year. But ladies, do you know how amazing this is? You don't need to go to salons anymore to get your energy siphoned anymore. And that's a video for a whole nother day, and I promise you guys I'm gonna make that video. But what do you guys think of this, y'all? This is crazy. Just like I be telling y'all, our life is a movie. I guarantee you we're gonna see some amazing things, some new technology developing this year. Let me know what you guys think about this video, y'all. Let's get it. Peace in.
And then it'll end on blue.
There's an eyewitness who said they seen the little girl walking with an older lady in the streets.
Yeah.
The police sketch of that guy saying that looks exactly like Ghislaine Maxwell.
Eerily like her. I believe Madeleine McCann's family was in on it, but not the way that people think they're in on it. They started thinking that the parents were acting very weird because their stories wasn't really adding up. Some of the things that they were saying. But then police, as they were investigating, they ended up finding Madeleine McCann's DNA, her in the back seat of their rented car that they had on vacation. So then what I'm thinking now with this addition of Ghislaine Maxwell, I think that Epstein already had his eye on this. She orchestrated this. She had a guy that she probably was at a location. It was like this: I need you to go. And the parents already knew ahead of time. The parents, they both went to some diner that was not too far.
It was like down the block.
It was
or something
literally
like,
like across the street or something like that, right?
Yeah. And she's gone.
And she's gone. There was a guy who basically said they thought he was the one who did it. They said, we got our guy. And this is my point. I think that dude was the fall guy at the time. Ghislaine and them paid the family whatever lump sum they wanted for their daughter. Took the kid when they told him.
Took her to like a safe house or something.
You feel me? Took her to a safe house. And then that
is when Ghislaine Maxwell started. Yeah. And that's probably when the eyewitness seen her walking with her.
Saw.
And I seen some dude on Reddit was going through the flight logs. Around that time, there was a flight that left the island and landed in Portugal a couple of days before she went missing. And then another flight leaves from Portugal days after Madeleine went missing, going back to the island.
You just wrapped it all together for me, dog.
Like that's a crazy coincidence.
I keep telling y'all, these fast food restaurants and these quick service companies do not have your best interests in hand. So a lawsuit just came out claiming that Starbucks, you heard what I said? Starbucks is serving coffee that contains chemicals that show up in industrial products and paint strippers. And the crazy part is they're telling you not to worry about it. So the chemical they're talking about is a chemical called acrylamide. And according to scientists, it forms when foods are cooked or roasted at high temperatures, which means when coffee beans get roasted, this chemical can show up in the final drink. Now here's the scary part. The chemical that they're talking about has been linked in studies to possible cancer risk in animals. And the same chemical has also been used in certain industrial processes. Now the question we need to ask, why are they allowing people to drink something with that in it every single morning? And here's where things get interesting. Lawsuits started popping up saying that Starbucks should warn people. California even tried requiring warning labels on coffee. But then the regulators stepped in and said, don't worry about it. They claimed that the levels are too low to matter and that coffee has health benefits. Now think about that for a second. You got a chemical connected to cancer studies.
Y'all, they right here crazy. They are saying OpenAI uninstalls in the US jumped 295% once the news broke that OpenAI and the Pentagon struck a deal. Not downloads, not a little dip. People straight deleted the app. And look, whether you love AI or hate it, this tells you one thing. People do not play about trust. I know I don't. I know when I heard that this happened, my brain was like, what that mean for me? So a lot of people was against this because also the download stopped too. And people resorted to another AI app, which is this right here. It climbed up the ladder, y'all. That joint is at #1 right now. And OpenAI is steady going down. And here's the even crazier part. The OpenAI CEO is already amending the deal. He's letting it be known what they can use it for and what they can't use it for. And I'm talking about the Pentagon. So my question is, do you think people is overreacting? Do you think I'm overreacting? But I just feel like once AI companies start linking up with the government, it just make you think like, nah, fool. So let me know down below in the comments how y'all feel about this. And did you uninstall this, or will you be uninstalling this because of this news? Let me know.
This guy exposed how movies trick you during strange eating scenes. Because if an actor has to eat a bar of soap, it's most likely fake, since it's actually just melted white chocolate with some food coloring that was molded to look like the real thing. Or if there's a scene where they need to eat dirt, he can cleverly recreate it by crushing Oreos and biscuits to make it look like real soil. And if an actor can't eat meat, he can turn a watermelon into a perfect replica of a steak by first shaping it and then using food coloring once again to paint on char marks until it's completely well done.
So as someone who has actually spoken to someone who's done limb lengthening surgery, he went from 5 foot to 6 feet. His surgery went pretty well. He can walk. He said, like, yeah, my dating life picked up and all that stuff. Despite that, he said he wishes he never did it. And I was like, why? Like, you have everything that you wanted in terms of, like, the improved dating life. But he's like, dude, going through all that pain and all that fucking shit and just, like, the risks was not worth getting, like, 2% more girls. Bro, he went from 5'6" to 6 feet. And, like, he doesn't even look too unproportional.
You know, God made us all for a reason. We're made the way we are for a very specific reason. You know, if you're short, just be short, bro. If you're tall, just be tall. You don't gotta chop your legs off, make them bigger, and then be like, yeah, now I'm tall. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, what?
What the hell do you mean NASA just found giant spider webs on Mars? And for those of you guys who don't know what I'm talking about, just search up spider webs on Mars and come back to this video. These things are miles long, and we are all cooked because not only are these spider webs miles long, but they have eggs on them. And people on Kalshi are putting bread that the US is gonna admit aliens are real before 2027. Like, gang, are we cooked? Like, we got giant spiders ready to crack us, the Epstein files, and World War III in the first 4 months of 2026. Send us to a friend to tell them we are so cooked.
Thank you guys for watching the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your favorite part of the video made you tremble in your boots, and we're going to be on to the next one. Thank you.